There's a school 51% rule of thumb. In some civil cases, the standard of proof is elevated to a higher standard called clear and convincing evidence. Beyond a reasonable doubt is what's considered the norm in criminal cases. Was Donald Trump ordered to pay $93 million against E. Jean Carroll for having raped her? Well, first they did find him liable for sexual abuse, and he had to pay $5 million. But then he went and lied about it, so she sued him, and she won $83 million, and he put $91 million as a bond so he could appeal. So he posted $91 million bond to cover the defamation verdict on March 8th.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump on Friday posted a $91.6 million bond in the defamation case. Former U.S. President Donald Trump on Friday posted a $91.6 million bond in the defamation case he recently lost to writer E. Jean Carroll and appealed the ruling.
I don't even know who this woman is. I have no idea who she is, where she came from.
However, that was a lie. Trump mistook rape accuser E. Jean Carroll for his ex-wife Marla Maples in a deposition where he was shown her photograph. He also had said that he wouldn't have raped her because she wasn't his type, but he mistook her for his ex-wife. And here's a photo of them together. This was the only photo that apparently was submitted as evidence, but in the case they said that they had known each other and had seen each other many times, and he is a liar and a rapist and a disgusting, despicable pig. He is a crook. He is a terrible, terrible man.
It would cover Carroll's $83.3 million judgment if Trump were to lose his appeal of the January verdict and refuse to pay. The posting of a bond also means that Carroll, who was 80, wouldn't collect on the judgment during the appeals process, which could take years.
It's the most ridiculous, disgusting story. It was just made up.
She sued him for calling her a liar after she accused him of raping her decades ago in a Bergdorf Goodman department store dressing room in Manhattan. A jury ruled in her favor. Trump faced a Monday deadline to obtain the bond or set aside cash for the judgment after the trial judge refused his bid for a temporary reprieve. On Friday, the judge gave Carroll and her lawyers until Monday to register any objections to the bond. Lawyers for Trump and Carroll did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Trump is the Republican candidate for this November's presidential election and faces an expected rematch against Democratic incumbent Joe Biden, who beat him in 2020.
Interview said, "You're very well respected. You're very well." His sister is he sniffs
their hard work and everything that they are doing.
He sniffs the chairs of people who he interviews, sniffs the chairs of girls and ladies, and sniffs the chairs of Cybertruck, and gave Donald Trump a Rolex that Andrew Tate sat on. Interestingly, was then arrested on sex trafficking and rape allegations in Romania. And it was a result of, here, I'll just read from you what NBC News says. A live streamer may have triggered Romanian police to detain influencer Andrew Tate and serve him with the UK arrest warrant. The law firm representing 4 of Tate's UK accusers told NBC News that a live stream from fellow influencer Aidan Ross prompted authorities to intervene on suspicion that Tate was planning to flee Romania before standing trial there on rape and human trafficking charges. Aidan Ross, close to Andrew Tate, now very close to Donald Trump and Donald Trump's. Let's talk about the victim clip.
I have to leave Ireland and I have
to Scotland and Ireland. He claimed he was found liable for sexual assault. During the trial, Donald Trump fled to Scotland and Ireland. He claimed he was going to return to confront the victim, but never did so. Let me just show you when Donald Trump fled during the trial and he claimed he was going to return. I want to go through the facts with you right now. Play the clip.
I have to leave Ireland and I have to leave Scotland
where I have great properties. I have to leave early. I don't have to, but I choose to.
Will you attend the trial, Mr. President?
I'll probably attend, and I think it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace that it's allowed to happen. It's called false accusations against a rich guy, or in my case, against a famous, rich, and political person that's leading the polls by 40 points. And I have to go back for a woman that made a false accusation about me, and I have a judge who's extremely hostile. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to confront this woman. This woman is a disgrace, and it shouldn't be allowed to happen in our country.
So Donald Trump was found liable for sexual assault. Right. Next, Donald Trump is on an audio recording bragging about sexually assaulting women. And he says, when you're rich and famous, they let you do it and you get away with it. Donald Trump was deposed in connection with the lawsuit where he was sued and found liable for sexual assault. And he was asked about that. And in Donald Trump's own words, he said that unfortunately or fortunately, he said that's true. Let me just show you what he said. Play the clip.
And you say, and again, this has become very famous in this video, I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything. That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the pussy?
Well, that's what it's, if you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
And you consider yourself to be a star?
I think you can say that, yeah.
So are you as disgusted as I am? This is an actual screenshot of the moment right where he's saying, I think you could say that, yeah, he is gleeful. He does think he's a star, and he thinks being a star means you can sexually assault women, and that's disgusting as well as criminal. And it's criminal to me that many people would actually vote for a rapist and openly admit that. And it's mind-boggling.
And
then there's a story from The Guardian that's written about this yacht trip that Donald Trump
took in the early 1990s as part of what's called his Look of the Year competition. This was a competition involving girls
as young as 14 years old and some younger. Here are the girls right here. You see the girls there that were in this competition that was hosted by Donald Trump. And what the article from The Guardian goes on to say is that on this yacht trip with Donald Trump and all of these other men who were old enough to be these 14-year-old girls'
grandparents, that the older men would grind on the 14-year-old girls.
And it was a horrific and disgusting incident. Donald Trump recently reposted an image of him with the girls on his social media platform as part of which is part of that story that The Guardian covered. Now, I don't know why he reposted. I mean, it's sick and disgusting, and corporate media refuses to cover it. We don't refuse to cover it here on the Midas Touch Network. I told you about the quote that Donald Trump had previously given to New Yorker in the early 2000s, where he said that Jeffrey Epstein's a great guy who likes women on the younger side. As I mentioned, it's girls Donald Trump is referring to. In fact, we have the flight logs from Epstein. You see Donald Trump's name all throughout the flight logs. Recently, the message logs from Epstein's calls were released in connection with a release of grand jury files from a Florida law that released these criminal grand jury files of Epstein. Donald Trump's name appeared there. Donald Trump's name appears throughout depositions in the Epstein files. And you can see Trump's name, some of the victims being trafficked, or at least one victim being trafficked, said that Epstein said that they would meet up with Trump. During the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, who was doing the trafficking for Epstein, they were doing the trafficking together. A part of the testimony was a 14-year-old girl said that Epstein had introduced her as a girl to Donald Trump. When Donald Trump was asked about Ghislaine Maxwell, and her criminal trial, Donald Trump's response was to wish her well. He said, I wish her well. This is what Trump said. Here, play the clip.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is. I don't know the situation with Prince Andrew. Just don't know. Not aware of it.
Yeah, Donald Trump's referring to the woman found guilty of sex trafficking. Donald Trump said he wished her well. I'll play for you the audio recording of Donald Trump talking about inspecting the girls from his beauty pageants naked without their consent. And he said, as the owner, they let you do it. And he gets to inspect them, he says. Here, play the clip.
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like
this. Is Donald Trump talking about Lindsay Lohan when she was 18 years old. And Donald Trump said that her mental health issues made him want to have sex with her. Here, play this clip.
What do you think of Lindsay Lohan now?
I think she's hot.
There's something there, right?
Yes.
But you have to like freckles. I've seen a close-up of her chest.
Yes.
And a lot of freckles. Are you into freckles?
If the father's a wreck like the way he is,
right?
You imagine the sex with this troubled?
Yeah, you're probably right. She's probably deeply troubled and therefore great in bed.
Back in the day.
How come the deeply troubled women?
Yes.
Deeply troubled.
Right.
They're always the best in bed. If for some reason what I said is true, I mean, they're just unbelievable.
I can tell from the...
You don't want to be with them for the long term, but for the short term, there's nothing.
Here's what Donald Trump had to say about his daughter, Ivanka, and that what he believes he has in common with his daughter is sex. Here, play this clip.
She does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Ivanka, what's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
If I weren't happily married and, her father.
My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass.
Yeah.
She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous. She's tall. She's almost 6 feet.
You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
And look, I can go on and on, but I think you get the point here. Sickening. Sickening stuff. And I just think it's important that we call out his behavior at every single step of the way. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. Thank you for watching.
Love this video?